Hi, hello everybody. So I see a couple of new people on the call. Let me just name them. I was actually waiting for Manoj. Hey Manoj, how are you? Okay guys, can anyone confirm like you guys are able to hear me? Because I'm not able to.
Yes, Arun. Yes,
Okay,
Arun, I can hear you. It's Pankaj here.
okay, yeah. Hi Pankaj. Right. So we have Manoj, we have Nathan, and then so many people. Hi. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I'm feeling good now. I have recovered, but still a little bit of cough is there. I'll try to try to manage it. It's okay. So today's call will have a lot of free time as well because we are going to set up our lab. Okay. By the way, can you guys confirm me whether like anyone, if you were able to download the softwares, or was there any issue in downloading the softwares?
Yeah, Arun, I can download the software. Issues were not there, but the prod one was failing. The source and prod was failing a lot. But I just tried 4 or 5 times. It went fine. I
Okay.
don't know any.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody felt same issue or not.
That happens. Maybe there are 35 people who are simultaneously downloading. Maybe that might be one issue, which could have, put a lot of pressure on the Google Drive. Okay, right. Anybody else problem with the software downloads?
Hi, Arun. I didn't feel any different. I didn't get any issues while downloading. It was quite cool, yeah.
Oh, great. Nice. So today you will understand what you have downloaded and how we are going to use all those things. Okay. So we'll be actually practicing the lab setup. First, I'll help you guys how to use those files in order to set up your own lab on your own system. Now, in this case, as I mentioned earlier, this is what we are going to do. We are going to do. It's like we all will work in sync. Okay. So whatever I'm doing and all the VMs that I'm using, I want you guys also to use the same VMs and execute the same steps. So today, because we have a little bit of installation involved, we'll be installing 12c database and also we'll be importing the virtual machines. So we'll have a lot of free time as well in between. Let us start. So first of all, I would like to start off with the review or the recap of Golden Gate architecture. So let me pull up the paint. So we have already seen this architecture. This is just a recap. We have the source DB, right? And from the source, we have an extract process. Extract will write into source trails. I'm just mentioning it as ST. And then from source trail, a data pump process will push the files to the target server over the network. This is nothing but our TCP IP network, right? And on the target side, we have a collector. This is a process which we do not configure because it is like automatic start and it actually writes into target trail files, right? And from the target trail files, we have a replicat process. And this replicat will actually apply the transactions onto the target DB. This is how the normal architecture looks like. So what all configurations we are going to do? First of all, we'll be configuring the extract, we'll be configuring the data pump. Even we have to configure the source trails. We do not configure collector. We have to configure the target trails and we have to configure the replicat. And above all this, we have two main processes as we discussed. One is, both are manager only. So we have a manager process that runs on the source, and we also have a manager process that runs onto the target. These two processes are very important, and it is important that your manager should be up and running. What is the job of manager? It actually maintains the port on which the Golden Gate will listen, like port number. So more details you'll understand while we are into the administration, right? So after configuring all these, we even need to configure the managers. Again, actually we should have started from manager first and then we configure the other components, right? So this is the architecture and this is how we are going to configure the things. One more thing guys, just I mean, completely out of the course. Today morning when I was working on a lesson plan, I thought there are some topics which are missing. So I plan to add few more topics, and I mean those topics will be covering in the training itself. There is no special or separate session I need. So just to inform you, if you find some topic which was not there earlier and now I'm taking that topic in the coming sessions, so don't get scared. It is something which I believe like it should be there. So I want to add some of the new topics to the training. Okay. So how are we going to set up the practical lab? This is just an overview. We have these virtual machines. There are two virtual machines which I have asked you to download. Now these two virtual machines, after download, it must look like something like this. One is ggprod VM and another one is ggdev. Okay. So what exactly is this ggdev and ggprod? These are nothing but Golden Gate production server and Golden Gate development server. That is the term which I am going to use. Right? And these are actually the machine names. Also, we'll be using the same host name inside the virtual machine. We are using Oracle Enterprise Linux 6.5. Just to save your time, what I have done is I have created the VMs so that you don't waste time in installing the Oracle Enterprise Linux, and then it will be an issue. Many times it's a problem, like 2-3 sessions will be just wasted to install the operating system. So just to cut down on the time, I have given you the virtual machines. Now these virtual machines are configured on 3 GB RAM. Okay, so it's not 4 GB, it's actually 3 GB. Yeah, so here are the two VMs. Don't worry, I'll show you how to import and everything. Let me just check with the RAM. Now can you see these VMs are configured to have 3 GB, I mean approximate RAM. So 4 GB is something like very good, but because a lot of us or a lot of the students are having problem with the RAM, so that's why I have kind of reduce it to 1 GB less. So it's like 3 GB right now. In case if needed, I will definitely push it up to 4 GB, because see, we have OEL running, and then we have Oracle database running, and then we have Oracle Golden Gate running. So we actually need good amount of RAM, right? In your machines, we have 3 GB RAM as of now, but when needed, we might push it up till 4 GB. So that is the ideal configuration we have. So if you guys are not having this setup, where I recommended that minimum RAM should be about 12 GB. So if you guys are not having that setup, I would request you to just attend the training, and whenever you have the setup, then you can practice it, right? So, and I have allocated 80 GB hard disk to these VMs. Let me just show you. So storage, this storage, can you see it is of 80 GB. So 80 GB is, I mean both the VMs, we have 80 GB, close to 160 GB will be going to these VMs. So make sure you have that 160 GB at least free on your system in order to import these VMs. Any which was, they won't be, I mean it won't use 160 GB immediately, but still just have that amount of space. When files are growing, then it will be a challenge otherwise. So make sure 150 GB of free disk space and then 8 GB of RAM that is available. And then we are using VirtualBox. We are not going with VMware because VMware needs a license. I mean, I'm talking about the workstation, and VirtualBox is free. So we are going with VirtualBox and Oracle 12c Database Enterprise Edition 12.1.02 is the one which I have. So that's what I recommend all of you to actually download. And then for the Golden Gate, we are using 12.2.01. Now you might have a query like, why are we going with 12.1.02? In 12.1.01, there is one command when we are configuring the Golden Gate. I will definitely talk about that command. That new command has been introduced, or that new parameter is introduced only from 12.1.02. And I wanted you guys to know about that parameter. So earlier, I thought we'll go with 12.1.01, but in that one, that new parameter was not introduced. So this is the reason we are going with 12.1.02, and it is available on the Oracle website to download. So you have to download all the softwares as per the Oracle Enterprise Linux. That is again 64-bit, x86 64. Because I got a couple of emails asking for which operating system you have to download these softwares. So we'll be working on x86 64 only, right? 64-bit. Also make sure your Windows operating system is also 64-bit. If it is 32-bit, it will be a challenge to, you can't really run the 64-bit VMs. The VMs which I have shared with you, those all are OEL 6.5 64-bit versions, right? So these are the basic criteria for practicing. And if you guys have challenges in setting up the lab, I would just request you to follow the training. And once you have the new hardware, or whenever you get a chance to practice all this, then maybe you can practice again by looking at the videos and the supplemental, the material that I'll be giving. So we have, can we reduce the OS space after import VM to VirtualBox? You can reduce, you don't need to reduce. Okay, let me talk a little bit about the hard disk space. You don't need to reduce. That 80 GB will not be used immediately. It will be used while the disk is growing. Okay, so if you see this one, can you see the actual size? Currently it is of 24 GB, but when we are inserting the data, or when we are creating multiple files into the virtual machine, it will grow max till 80 GB. So that's the funda over there. It is not fixed sized, it is a dynamic size hard disk. So it will grow as you kind of like put data, and it will max grow till 80 GB. It will not go beyond 80 GB. So you don't need to reduce actually. Just make sure the actual size, whatever it is, you have that much amount of space on the disk. Okay, so next one, my laptop size, RAM size is 8 GB. Can I install? You can try to install, but I don't recommend it. From my end, that is not going to work, but you can try. If it works, do let me know also. And processor wise, if you ask me personally, this is out of my experience I'm telling you guys, because I have 3 laptops at home. Okay, and this is why I'm telling, all the 3 laptops were purchased because of some or the other issue. So i3 processor does not work well with 2 virtual machines, even though the current laptop that I am having, it is having the i3 processor, but somehow this is, I think, 6th generation i3, and it really supports, it is having, my laptop is having 20 GB RAM, the one which I'm using right now. So 20 GB RAM, I have 1 TB hard disk, i3 6th generation. I had an i3 5th generation laptop as well, but once you start 2 VMs, it won't perform well. And even I have seen, I was not able to configure rack on my laptop. So I recommend the processor anything above i3 6th generation. Minimum RAM 12 GB minimum, I'm saying. In the minimum RAM, it will be very slow, but still you'll be able to figure out the things. 16 GB is amazing, i3 6th generation, and have somewhere around 200 GB free space on your system. So that will work. Okay, so I will just a reminder to everyone to ensure virtualization is enabled. Yeah, correct. I was about to come to that point. And I believe like we all are DBAs. So if you have already tried virtualization, you have ever created VMs on your system, make sure virtualization is enabled at the BIOS level. In every Windows system, you have to enable virtualization in the BIOS level. So that is something, in case if you, I'll give you an example, okay? What will happen if you do not enable virtualization at OS level? So in this list, wherever you're seeing 64-bit, right? Windows 2003 64-bit, Windows Vista 64-bit, you will not see any of the 64-bit versions listed over here. So that is one problem if you don't enable virtualization at BIOS level, right? So make sure, if this is your first time, and this is like first time you're creating the VMs, I would recommend you to complete one of my free courses on my website, that is Foundation for DBA. It will talk about how to install the VirtualBox, how to enable it will not have the setup on how to enable the BIOS at OS level, but definitely over there you will understand all these things. So I assume because everybody is a DBA, you already know this, and in case if you have any trouble, you can write to me. I can share a link with everyone where it will describe how to enable virtualization in BIOS level, right? So you have to enable virtualization. Thanks E for reminding me this one. Great point. Let's go back to the slide. Guys, this is the overall structure or design of our application that we are going to use. We have ggprod, we have ggdev, right? These are the two servers. RAM is 4 GB, hard disk is 80 GB. We have Oracle 12c database. First we'll be installing the 12c database, and we are right now configuring the replication from Oracle to Oracle. Let us learn how to configure the replication between Oracle to Oracle database, and definitely in our project work we will be looking at replication from the other vendor database, right? So on top of the Oracle 12c database, we'll be installing Oracle 12c Golden Gate and then perform the replication. This is high level setup, and we have a lot of steps in each setup, right? So one step is completely removed from your task list, and that is like installation of Linux, because you have the VMs, you just need to import them. How to create the VMs? Okay, you have downloaded the ggprod and ggdev VM files. Let us look at how do you create or import those files. So after download, you will see two files, and there is one ggvm import help, nothing but Golden Gate VMs import help. This is a help document. I'll also come back to this document once our import is done. So let us start with the import. Let me get this location. So in your VirtualBox, go to File and click on Import Appliance. Okay. So once you click on this one, it will ask you to give the complete path of your downloaded file. First, I'll try to import the ggprod. So this is the location where I have the downloaded VMs. So this is ggprod VM export. I'll click on open. Click on next. Is it Rahul? Guys, please keep yourself muted.
Meanwhile, I like the dialogue.
even I was actually wondering what was that. Okay. Now sometimes I have to, if this continues, I'll have to force somebody out of the meeting. Okay, so guys, this is the window that you will get after the ggprod. Okay, so you don't have to make any changes in this one. As I mentioned, the RAM is 3 GB, close to 3 GB over here, and just click on import. So in this case, this will create a trouble over here, but because I have already imported these VMs, so this might create a trouble. No problem. I'll delete the old VMs. Actually, I should do it right away, because what happens is I need to reinitialize the Mac in case these VMs are already there. This will be a problem. So what I'll do is I'll just remove them, delete the files. Right, so now we'll import the files. So first I'm importing the ggprod. There is no sequence to it. You can just perform the import. In case you want to change a name, you can change it over here as well, and then just click on import. Guys, make sure you can import only once. Like if you already imported and then you again want to re-import those VMs, there will be a problem with the MAC addresses. You need to again get into how to change the MAC addresses. That is a separate setup. So try to have only one set of files or one set of VMs created over there. Okay, so it's almost done. So this will come like this, ggprod. Let us import the another one. This is the second VM. Click next and import. Okay, so it was done by Rahul. No problem. Okay guys, by the way, there are some emails. I think I set up some email triggers for you guys, which actually land into your inbox somewhere around 11 a.m. daily. So do you find those emails helpful? Anyone got chance to go through those emails?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yes.
great. Great, guys. See, I mentioned this earlier, like no training is perfect. So what I try to do is things that are good to know or things that you should know apart from this training, that is something I schedule through emails. And that way it's easy for me to help you guys also to learn things. Okay.
Arun, can I tell you something?
Yeah, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, see, how do you feel if you have, when you are a kid, how do you feel if you have your mother with you? Don't you feel very secure? It's the same way, Arun. When you are there, then we almost feel that yes, we are confident we will do it.
Okay.
That's the level of confidence we have in you, Arun.
Thanks.
Your presence itself gives us a lot of confidence.
Thank you so much. I mean, when you started with the example of child and mother, I thought I was thinking in a different way. But thank you so much.
No.
Yeah.
The way you present the things and the concepts, they are awesome. I cannot compare with any other instructor.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
In fact, I already asked so many questions. You are so patient answering all my issues. Thank you so much, Arun.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much.
No problem. Honestly, I'll tell you something. Okay, I'm going out of the training topic now. Meanwhile, I'll start the VMs. This is something like I'm talking about my story, and then you guys, somebody might be, or it might give inspiration to somebody. What happened is, earlier, I'm talking about the days when I used to go to college. I saw this trend. Whenever I wanted to learn something, if I make the payment, and suddenly from the next day the trainer will lose the interest. That was something, it was pinching me somewhere I had that concept in mind that there should be value for money. That is something I completely believe. So initially what happened, like I was good at Oracle. I mean, I started my career, I used to love Oracle. And to be very frank with you guys, why I love Oracle, because the select star from EMP, that one command was so attractive. I was like, come on, it's so simple English sentences. And that's how I got into Oracle. Later on, what happened when I used to work with MNCs and the different teams I used to work over there, people used to always compliment me like my explanation is good. That was something I used to hear from everybody. So the same concept they used to try to ask the other guy, and still they'll come back and ask me also. So they used to like my explanation. That's when I got a little bit of compliments, and then one day one guy told me, "Why don't you try to train the team?" And that's when I started to take the first training which I had taken was on Oracle SQL. So the entire team was happy, everybody was happy. And then I never thought that I'll become a trainer. I never wanted to become a trainer, but because of the compliments I got and because of the good work that I have seen, and also the part that used to pinch me, like why trainers don't give value for money, that was something there. So that's when I started to create the trainings, call students, and then I mean, then everything is just going on. Okay, so what you have to do is after import both the VMs into VirtualBox, start the VMs. Now, what I've done is like I have assigned default IP addresses to your virtual machines. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to set up your IP addresses. You don't need to mess up with the IP addresses until there is a clause over here. So that's why I'm stopping right now. You don't have to mess up with the IP addresses only when your gateway IP is same as my gateway IP. Okay, so if the gateway IP is 192.168.0.1, then you can blindly use the VMs. If this is not 192.168.0.1, then there is a problem. Okay, I'll talk about that problem in some time. First of all, if your gateway IP is this one, then you can directly use these IP addresses. So I'm just copying this 192.168.0.181. I'll open the putty session, put it over here, enter, and it is connected to ggprod. Okay. Now can you see host name? This is ggprod VM. This is the default IP. And the second one is 182. These are the default IPs which I have set. In case if you plan to change, you can change that as well.
Hi Arun, what is the password of these virtual machines?
Yeah, I'll give, don't worry. Okay, I'll come to that. Yeah, so these are the default IPs which I have assigned to these VMs. You can directly use these default IPs only when your gateway IP is this one. But how do you find out gateway? How do you change the IPs of the VMs? If that is the doubt you guys are having, I would again recommend you to go through the Foundation for DBA course. It's a free course over there. One lesson is there, how to change the IP addresses of the VMs. Okay. But I'll talk a little bit right now, but I will not get into how to change the IP address. Open the command prompt, okay, and just type ipconfig. And in the ipconfig, right now I'm connected via the Wi-Fi, so under the wireless LAN adapter, just check the default gateway. If your gateway IP is this one, 192.168.0.1, then these IPs will work perfectly fine. If it is not, then what I would recommend is, like in the Foundation for DBA course, there is one lesson which talks about the changing of the IP address of the virtual machines. You can go through that lesson and change the IP addresses. Okay. So this is done. Next is try to connect via putty, or else consider to change the IP addresses as per your network settings. I would rather say network gateway settings. Okay, and then the passwords are very simple. Root @123. The root password is root @123, and after this there is no Oracle user created. All the prerequisites, it's just a normal OS installation. Every prerequisite I want you guys to do. Okay, it will be like a revision for some guys who want to know how to install the 12c database. So I did not install any database. I did not install Golden Gate. I did not create any Oracle user. I did not complete any prerequisites on this machine. I created the VM, installed the Linux, shut down the VM, created an export file and shared with you. So every step that I'm going to do, it will start off with the ground zero. Okay, so we'll be starting with the OS level prerequisites, then we'll perform the database level prerequisites, we'll install the 12c database, then we'll install the Oracle Golden Gate. Later we'll start our replications. So guys, after this you should not have any doubt in the import. In case if you have still doubts, you can write emails to me. I'll definitely respond to your emails. Now I can say that both the VMs for our practice are ready. Okay, so what we have to do next is, okay, we have a question. Do you teach Postgres? No guys, I mean, I'm very happy with Oracle. I don't want to change Oracle technology. I actually, if you ask me personally, I would, my personal passion is web development, how to develop websites, how to create your own blog, how to create, small websites like gym management website or salon management websites. I have actually created 28 websites for a lot of people across the globe. I hold a GoDaddy cloud server. So I love to teach web development, but I never get anyone to learn web development from me. So web development, Oracle, and one more area which I love to train is, which I plan later on, writing high-end macros in Excel and MS Access, because that is the area which actually helps people grow in the organization. For example, you write a small macro, you get promoted in your organization because you have given a value add. So that is the area which I plan later on in 2018 that I will get into those training as well. So how to write amazing macros that will literally solve all the small problems in a team. So no Postgres, I'm good with Oracle. I have included this slide for you guys. Download source VMs, open VirtualBox, go to file and import, give the location, same way import this one and start both the VMs. In case if you have doubt, you can refer to this slide as to how to import. Now the first lab practice. Okay, the first lab practice, how do we set up our servers for practice? Okay, in this one, to proceed with Golden Gate lab practice, create 2 virtual machines in VirtualBox as per below configuration. So this configuration is already created. Just to talk about little bit about the partitions, let me close the windows that I'm not using. Okay. Okay guys, just to keep the things very simple, what I have done is I've created a root mount point which is of 57 GB. This is the, I think I'm not getting, it's not the swap space because swap is somewhere around 12 GB which I have created. This is tempfs. I mean, it will keep the temporary, the virtuals, I'm not getting the correct word, the paging space that we call. Linux uses this as the paging space. And then I have /boot to have the boot files over there. It's only 512 MB, 488 M, somewhere around here. Yes, who's that? Right, so we have 3 partitions. We'll be using the root mount point. We'll be creating U01 and U02 directories inside the /mount point so that all these directories will use a shared space of 57 GB. I didn't want to create U01, U02 like with 10 GB or 20 GB because somewhere down the line while you're practicing, if the drive gets full, it's a problem to add more space, right? So that's why I wanted to keep a shared space of 57 GB. So if I create U01 directory and U02 directory also, it will be sharing this 57 GB, right? So I tried to keep the things very simple. So this is your partition details in the VMs. In both the VMs are identical except the host name and the IP address. Rest all is exactly same. So partitions created while installing OEL 6.5. These are the partitions which I have created. The swap is given 15 GB. So now you will have why I have given 15 GB. What happens is when you are using 2 Oracle technologies like Oracle Database and Golden Gate, this is only limited to your house environment. I'm not talking about real-time environment. Sometimes some of the products combined needs more swap, somewhere near to 11 GB. And sometimes it needs 12 or 13 GB. So just to be out of the secure range, I have made it 15 GB. I mean, you guys, I don't want you guys to encounter with the swap errors while practicing, and then you will have to actually learn how to increase the swap. So I don't want you to waste time anywhere. I just want you guys to focus on Golden Gate. So that's why I have kept a lot of swap space. So you will not get any swap error, I believe. And to learn how to install OEL, complete the free video course. Once again, I have put a link of the video course. Right, this is the configuration that we are going to do. So these are the steps that you need to execute on both the PuTTY sessions. Let us start off with steps one by one. The first thing we have to do is we have to disable the firewall. We are not network experts. We don't know which port, which IP address might create a problem in future. So what we are doing is we are completely disabling the firewall on both the VMs. So just copy this and execute on both the VMs as root user. This will completely disable the firewall so that when Golden Gate Manager processes are speaking to each other, we should not get any error or any issue with the network. So we are trying to be a little bit of secure. Okay, so we have this question. Hi, what is /dev SHM? It is the paging area. I mean, I don't want to get into it. So it's like when there is issue with the RAM. So that paging area is used by Linux. So update /etc host file on both the server. Update your IP addresses for both machines at the end of the file. So what is this file /etc host file? It acts as a small DNS server inside Linux, right? So you don't have to remember the IP addresses. What you can do is you can put the IP address and name inside this file. And then if you do ping and give that name, it will automatically pick up the IP address from this file, right? So we need to make sure that in the etc host file, we have the details of both the servers, so that wherever we are using the host name like ggdev or ggprod, we don't have to remember the IP addresses, right? So let us get into this one. So open the file, use VI editor. So by default, I have added the local node details into the etc host file. We need to add the other node details over here, 192.168.0.182. In case if you're changing the IP addresses, make sure you update the IP address over here as well. This is ggdev. Okay, and try to ping ggprod, it's working, and try to ping ggdev, it's working fine. So make sure your network is working fine between both the VMs. Update same in the node 2. Guys, make sure whenever you're seeing my screen, the left window would be always the prod, and the half, or this is 75% window, would always be the other server. Okay, so left one will always be the prod server. This is how I keep my screen, so just get used to it. Open the etc host file, 192.168.0.181 ggprod. So ping. Okay, it's working fine. Then ping ggdev, it's working fine, right? So this part is done. Okay, this is something that will eat up a lot of our time, so I don't plan to run it now. What I'll do is after the session is done, then I'll run this command. It actually takes 20 to 30 minutes to complete this command. This will actually update all the packages on your Linux server. So I will run it after your session is over and then leave my system. Next is, we are not manually going to perform all the prerequisites of the Oracle 12c database. We already have a package which comes from Oracle. If we install this package, automatically all the prerequisites for the 12c database would be completed. So why not use this package rather than we go and update the kernel parameters and all those things? We don't have to do all those things. Simple run this package. Every single the prerequisites, it will be completed by this package. You don't have to touch the limits.conf file. You don't have to touch the kernel parameters. You don't have to touch anything. Even this package will create the Oracle user for you. We will skip one more step. We don't even have to create the Oracle user. But this will only work when your VM is able to speak with the internet. So make sure ping google.com. Make sure your VM is able to speak to the internet. And again, how this will speak to the internet? If the gateway IP is perfect, like your gateway IP is same as the one which I have in my office, then it will work fine. If your gateway IP is different, then definitely we'll have to work on changing the IP addresses. Right? So my first VM ggprod is able to ping to Google. I'll go ahead and run this command yum-y install Oracle RDBMS server 12c-r1 star. And the same command I need to run on the ggdev. So ping google.com. Okay, it's working. I think it should be fine. So this yum repository you can only use when you're VM is able to talk to the internet. Many a times people ask me, like in production servers, how do we do it? Because in production you won't have access to internet. You just have to download every package manually. Like there are a lot of RPMs. You need to download those RPMs normally, SCP them to the server, then install those RPMs by yourself. I mean, that's the only way.
Arun, one small doubt. Just now you said sometimes back about IP addresses, the gateway. Can you repeat it, please?
I mean, what is the doubt in gateway IP?
Actually, I checked. I have the gateway of default gateway in my system is 192.168.1.1. So how can I change it? And should I change it?
You have to change it, and those all details are mentioned in the Foundation for DBA course. So that's what I recommend you to visit that course. In that one, there is one lesson I'll show you. So in this one, can you see decide IP address for your virtual machine? This is the one. This will tell you how to decide IP address, what gateway to be used, and everything is there in this lecture. So you can follow this one. So guys, as I mentioned, things will take a lot of time. So we have a little bit of free time as well. I think this will take a couple of minutes to complete. So if you guys want to use any free time, because we'll be installing the 12c database as well, you are free to, if you have anything. And if you have anything which is out of training as well, perfectly okay. If you have anything to share or anything you have. Hey Manoj, how are you, man? You did not join the last two sessions, right?
I did.
Oh, is it? I did not actually notice it. Yeah.
This Yum installer thing to work, you should have access to internet, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I remember when I first did, the course, I think I had some issues, and then you showed me how to actually, allow internet access.
Right. There are a few things. Sometimes you have issues at the VM level. Sometimes you have issues with the gateway. It is not always the gateway, though. It happens. I mean, if it is required, like sometimes you need to enable the adapter as well. Like in VM, you need to go to settings, and then where is the network? In the network adapter, you need to make sure this is in the bridged mode. If this network adapter is not in bridged mode, then also your VM won't be able to talk to the internet. Don't worry, these all settings are enabled in the VMs that you will import. You should not have any problems except the gateway IP.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, I have a query. I mean, I got a question over here. Okay, Prashant, right? What happened, Prashant? Prashant wants me to make him the presenter. Can you tell me the reason? So one guy is asking, can you share the location of the scripts? Which scripts are you talking about? We did not use any scripts till now. Okay guys, there is one query over here. Any plans for Oracle performance training? Actually, I had a lot of plans. I mean, I postpone performance tuning always. I'll tell you the reason. This is something I haven't shared this reason with anyone. You know what? If you look at the future, for the next 2 years, I'm not talking about anything beyond 2 years. Everything is going to cloud, right? Okay, I don't say that everything. Maybe there are servers which will never go to cloud. There are reasons for that as well. Now, in cloud, I mean, because I have idea about cloud and I know how cloud works. So I'm just letting you know, I'll give you a gist of it. You don't have sysdba privilege in cloud, and you don't have any control on the database performance. You cannot control the DB performance till the degree at which you do on a normal physical server. Now the sentence what I have told you guys, it is only limited to RDS. Okay, RDS is remote database service. If you take a remote database service, then you won't have the degree at which you get on a physical server. I mean, the amount of access you have on the physical server, you don't get this is DBA in that server. Even, for switching of the log files, there is a big package you need to execute just to switch the log files. So PT is something, if you ask me personally, it is going to go off if this is the way cloud continues. Okay. But the way I'm seeing the trend in the market, I think I have discussed this earlier as well. I don't know on this call or some other call. The way I'm seeing the trend, a lot of companies are coming back to in-premises servers. Okay, 1 minute, guys. Guys, I'll continue this topic. Meanwhile, what we'll do is we'll put the database software for SCP on these machines because the SCP will take time, right? So, and then I'll continue the same topic. Now, this yum installer is completed, and as I mentioned, it will create the Oracle user for us. So we need to change the password for the Oracle user because we don't know. I mean, when you first create a user, we don't know what password Linux assigns to it. So I'll just give Oracle 123. I mean, you guys can give anything, whatever you want for Oracle user. The same I'm running on the GG dev Oracle 123. Right? So Oracle user is done. We are creating these directories U01, U02. We are giving these 775 permissions on both of them. And we are making the Oracle user as the owner of these two directories. These are not mount points. These are directories in this case because everything is being shared. I mean, the storage is being shared from the root mount point. Correct? So once this is done, now we'll SCP the software. Let me initiate the WinSCP. And I'll use the Oracle user to copy it. So this one I have connected to node 1. Go to U02. Okay, we'll use U02 directory for all the softwares, and U01 will use for installations. Okay, so let me, where is the external storage? $12,102. This is the one we are using, right? So let me drag and drop these two over here. Okay, when you are using WinSCP, you can click this button, proceed in background. This will run in background and take a new session. Connect to node 2, 192.168.0.182. Oracle 123. Okay, go up, U02, and then go to external storage. Copy the 12102 binaries over here. Okay, let this one proceed. Okay, coming back to the cloud topic. Yeah, looking at the current trend, I have heard so many news. I've seen some of my own friends who are working for the clients, they have taken a U-turn from the cloud. They are back to the physical servers. There are multiple reasons. First is not much control over the performance. I'll give you an example. Let's take, there is issue with this server IO. What you do is you try to take a hard disk or purchase a hard disk which is of higher RPM, or you actually put an SSD. That is actually in your control. Okay, in AWS, I can guarantee that you also have, control over the hard disk, the type of hard disk. So that flexibility you don't get immediately, because any change you want to make into the environment, it will directly hit your pocket. So that is just an example. There are a lot of things and a lot of accesses which creates a trouble. And you know what? This is what happened with one of our client. I mean, my close client who with whom I'm working. So that client is, they have hosted close to 40 servers on AWS. One day, suddenly we were not able to access the AWS server, and all the production, I'm talking about the production, all the production, everything, all the production dev, QA, all the databases were down for 45 minutes. And you know what happened from AWS side? They just sent an email with, sorry, we apologize for the whatever happened. Now, can you believe a business is completely dependent on cloud, and those guys just send some sorry emails, which is not acceptable. So looking at the trend,
Arun,
yeah.
Hi, Arun. This is Pankaj here, and I was also part of that. Whenever that happened, and that impacted my business also.
How's it?
I shouldn't blame AWS because they, whenever we have a business with AWS, they always tell us to go for cross-region replication,
Mhm.
and because to save money, people never use that one,
Correct.
and it means one of the data center was down, and that can happen everywhere.
Correct. So yeah, just an example to balance the things. So this is one reason, why people are taking the U-turn as well. So yes, I have seen a lot of people and clients are coming back to primary servers, I mean physical servers. So the goal, I mean coming back to the question about the performance tuning, I will not take any performance tuning training until I complete the cloud training, because now my next goal is to help the DBAs work with cloud and learn how to migrate the servers from physical to cloud, because that is one thing. Second is, with this Golden Gate training, we'll have an advanced Golden Gate training that is only in plan, not on papers. And the advanced Golden Gate training will help you to configure replication in the cloud. So those are the two areas which I believe is most important for all the DBAs to get promoted or to get into the higher levels or get noticed by their management. Because I tend to make their goal as my goal. The simple goal in in an employee's life is to grow in the corporate ladder, right? So how can I help people grow in the corporate ladder? That is what I look at it. Performance tuning is something like whatever level you are, if there is an issue, you have to do it. That is good to have, and sometimes you can Google and get the things done. So once I'm done with this part, like helping people learn how to migrate servers from physical to cloud, and then how to set up the replication in the cloud, then maybe I will come back to performance tuning. Okay. So let us switch to Oracle user. I'm on prod server. We'll go to U02 and we'll unzip the binaries. So this will take good time. At least we'll finish the installation of the database today, and then we'll start off freshly on Golden Gate from tomorrow. Okay, so we have one question like table space planning, why we have via etc host file 2 server IP addresses in each node, entering like in source I have 2 TB, never mind. See guys, if you have queries related to Linux level, that is something which is out of the scope of this training. So I would request you to brush up your things, like if you have doubts on why we use etc host file and other things, just Google it up.
Hi Arun, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, tell me.
Yeah, no, actually, I know that I don't know how many people they in this session they realize, like I know that you have gold with you, so I want you to share, because I had tasted a little bit of it.
Mhm.
So I know there is a lot of more repository with you. No, one thing I will share with you. See, tablespace, you have given an excellent scripts. Only 3 they are awesome.
All right.
Like similarly, like that. See, my source is around 2 terabytes.
Mhm.
So I know that definitely you might have some thing where you plan. You have given a beautiful sessions on it. I have seen, gone through your sessions, and I do it like a praying God. Like every day you wake up, pray God. Like I keep your scripts and go through it, because it's like it's why I do. It's my bread and butter.
Right. That's good.
That's why I know that definitely you have that. So can you please share me that? I will come offline. I will talk to you. My requirement. I know that you have those things.
You can
I'll come
actually
offline.
send me an email, whatever your requirement is,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we'll see the scope of the requirement. Because to be very frank, you know what? I get some emails. I'll share you the emails. You all will laugh. One girl, she sent me an email. She said, "Arun, can you create my resume?" So sometimes I get
No,
some
no.
emails. No, just an example I'm giving. I'm giving an
Yeah,
example. So if the request is having a scope and if it fits in the timeline and if it fits with the course and the things that we are doing, definitely at least I'll share some links which can help you to achieve it. Yeah.
yeah. No, I definitely know that you have that. So that's when I'll come offline and talk to you.
Just send me an email.
Because I know
Won't
that.
be a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Right.
I don't know how many of you in this session they have gone through your sessions, but I would really recommend each and everybody in this session. Like see, Oracle has given me bread and butter for almost so many years. It is like my mother, and I come and you are like
Father.
godfather. Like, no, I don't know. I'm coming honestly. I don't know how many people they accept. They'll think that, "Arey baap, he's doing too much, yaar. Ye bahut badkara." But no, yaar. Please go through all the links which Arun Kumar has posted on the YouTube. I definitely, I will guarantee that.
Prashant, the
No,
YouTube.
I don't know how many they realize. I doubt, Arun.
Prashant,
I doubt how many people have gone through your sessions. YouTube free sessions are there. They are very beautiful. They are really beautiful. I don't know how many people have gone through all your sessions. They are simply awesome. They must go through. It doesn't cost them single NP. They must go through all the YouTubes if they are serious about their profession. If they are not into Oracle profession, then no, I don't recommend them. Let them not waste their precious time. Let them do some other work. But if their profession is Oracle, I would strongly recommend, even though if you are an expert, but please go through all the sessions. YouTube, there are so many YouTube free sessions posted by Arun Kumar. It's simply awesome.
Okay,
They must go through.
Okay, Prashant, let's stop the promotion. I mean,
no, it's not promotion. I told you before. I'm not telling.
Prashant,
I personally felt it.
Hold on, Prashant, hold on, please. Just hold on. Yeah, the thing is, like, I mean, those things. Thank you for the promotion, but you'll be surprised to know everybody on the call, they are very close to me. I treat everybody as a friend. And I can personally guarantee that everybody here has definitely watched at least one of the videos on YouTube. So you don't have to recommend it. Okay. So YouTube is one area through which everybody connected to me. So thank you for the promotion, and let's continue with the session.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, guys, back to the square one. So where were we? Where is the document here? Okay, I think we were unzipping, right? So document is over. Now the next thing is we'll proceed with the installation of the database software on both the servers. Okay, and for this one I'll be using the Xming software. So again, if you have doubt how to use Xming software to invoke the Linux GUI on Windows, the same thing is again described on the same Foundation for DBA course. I think I can show you the lesson. This is the one, invoking Linux GUI on Windows. So you can go through this one because I'll be doing it quickly right now. We don't have much time to waste on all these things. What I'll do is I'll start the Xming on my system and we'll proceed with the installation of the database on front server.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prashant, tell me.
Yeah, this is Suman.
Okay.
Is anyone experiencing the screen lag because there is some delay in your video and the audio for me? Maybe because my network connection.
I would recommend you can actually go through the recorded session as well, right? So maybe some issue with the network. Okay. So for this one, what we have to do is XAuth list. I have these magic cookies. I'll use these magic cookies with the Oracle user and XAuth add. Right. Let us go to U02 ls-lrt, get inside the database and issue the run installer. Let us finish system by system. I'll quickly install the database software on prod, and then we'll install the database software on the Node 2. Later on, we also have to create databases. We'll be creating a prod and dev database, and then we'll leave our today's session. Tomorrow we'll get into the Golden Gate installation, the initial setup that you have to do for the Golden Gate. Okay, next. So I generally prefer to go with install database software only. I'll just install the software first. We'll go with English Enterprise Edition. I'm going with default locations. There's no change in the location. As I mentioned, U01 we are going to use for the software installation. And yeah, next. I'll let you know where we are going to install the Golden Gate. So click on next. You can leave all this like this. Click next. Okay, sometimes in the prerequisite checks you will get this error, okay, the kernel parameter error. So if you happen to run this command yum-y update, because we did not run this command, right? So if you run this command you should not get it. That is what my assumption is. But if you get it, you can ignore it. You don't have to worry about it because this is a practice environment. Just ignore and proceed with the installation. Okay, so node 1 installation is proceeding. Let us go to second system. So first we'll get the magic cookies, XAuth list. Okay, and then we need to switch to Oracle user. Okay, this you have to do only when you connected to Putty as root user. Let's take, if I take a new session and then I connect it as Oracle user, you don't have to do these magic cookies and all. You can directly invoke the GUI interface. Okay, so XAuth add. So once again, I'll repeat. In case if you have connected to Putty session with root user and then switching to Oracle user, you need to copy these magic cookies of the root user to Oracle user. Otherwise the GUI interface will not work. And if you don't want to get into all this mess and all, just open a fresh session, log into the session with Oracle user only. Then it will be fine. Go to U02.
So Arun, what would be the Oracle password?
Oracle user password, you have to allocate, right? We have this step, password Oracle user. You have to allocate Oracle password because root password is root@123. Okay, so on the second node, we are starting the run installer. Guys, because I'm pretty confident and I can handle multiple or simultaneous sessions, in case if you have trouble in managing so many sessions, what you do is just connect to one server, do the prerequisites, close it, open the another Putty session, do the prerequisites, and then continue. Okay, in case if you get confused somewhere. So this is that would be a best option. Okay, the Word document that I am referring, these all will be available on your lesson. You don't have to worry. Okay, hi Arun, speaking about the cloud, the way things are getting automated these days, do you foresee a scenario in future whereby jobs might be reduced for DBAs in this field? Good question. Almost I get an email on this one daily. Okay, I don't have any answer to it as per the way industry is moving, but I can definitely give you an answer as to how to secure your job. That is something I always talk to so many people. I always tell them, think about your job. Don't think about where technology is going on. Of course, you should be aligned in terms of how technology is moving, but I can definitely give you an example, an amazing example. I might sound like I'm a motivational speaker for some time. Okay. So the thing is, guys, you have to make your manager goals your goals. I'll repeat, you will have to make your manager goals your goals. If you do that, nobody can remove you from any job in this world. Why I say so? Because I have been into manager roles and I have seen, I'll give you an example also. When I used to go for a tea break with my team members, okay, what used to happen, people generally talk about people. like that guy came late. I mean, that guy did something to me. He fired an email. He is delaying the project. People will talk about people, and great people or great employees will talk about ideas. You be the one who will only talk about ideas, who will only talk about the work. Don't talk about people. Why somebody came late, why somebody's not doing their job, why somebody's not taking the responsibility. They will get their fruit whenever they are supposed to. You just focus on making your manager goals your goals. So when people used to talk to me about other people, I used to ask them just one question. What is your goal for the next appraisal period? And everybody used to be blank. Don't be in that category. That is a personal request I have, and a personal suggestion as well. Be in the category where if you get a chance to go out with your manager, talk to them like what are the company goals. So what is the goal of our project? What is the vision that our project is having? Okay, if our vision is to move on to cloud in next 2 years, you be the number one to design the path. You do your own research at home. You need to know the vision of your team. Don't worry about where technology is going. Don't worry about which, like today is Oracle, tomorrow is Postgres, tomorrow, and then later on it's cloud. Don't worry about that. You do your homework based on the vision your team is having. And if you are having an amazing homework, trust me, nobody can remove you. Because see, one example, like you go on a break and your manager says like, hey, you know what, I had a meeting with the vice president and they are saying, let's move on to the cloud. You come home, you create a report, you analyze the costing of the cloud, and you go and give it to your manager. Say, hey, you know what, you are talking about the movement of the cloud. You know what, I analyzed the report. I mean, I analyzed the cost of the cloud, and I believe AWS is cheaper than Google Cloud, or AWS is cheaper than Microsoft Azure. You submit your report. So when you help your manager achieve his goals, you will always be in the game. Okay, that's like a motivational speaker, but that is my personal suggestion to everyone. I don't suggest whether cloud will be there or not. I do not suggest whether you should learn cloud or not. I do not suggest other things. I will always say make your manager goal your goals.
Arun, so meanwhile installation is going on. Can I say something on this one?
Please. Yeah. Pankaj.
So, hey guys, so I understand we as a DBS, as I started my career at 10 years back, at that time DBA was on top. Right now, as a DBA, every DBS thinks that job is in, the issues jobs. I would say no, because I myself in a boat where I am a DBA working on cloud also. And if you're DBA, just learn a little bit cloud. It's easy for DBA to learn the architect of cloud as compared to vice versa, because already we are doing a lot of system admin activities. I myself was present in New York reInvent. I've seen most of DBAs, they learn the solution architect of Amazon, and they're well paid, having well paid jobs. So no worries, DBA job is still in hot market. Just give brush up with cloud architect. That's all.
Thanks, Pankaj. Thanks for adding in. And one good surprise, I thought of keeping it as a surprise because we have the topic. Whatever Pankaj has said, the same thing will be there in my next webinar for everyone. So, like as I mentioned, the next goal is to make sure the DBAs get to know the cloud knowledge. I want to create 2 webinar series, separate series. Series 1 would be focusing on knowing what is cloud. Series 2 would be focusing more on DBAs to understand cloud as per the DBA job, like how do you migrate the servers, what is the overall architecture, how load balancing works over there in the cloud, how do you manage the RDS or EC2, whatever those terms are. I mean, these terms might be Greek and Latin right now, but later on it will be pretty simple for you guys. That's the goal. So thanks, Pankaj, for adding in. So do we have any more comments over here? Okay. So we have, as a DBA, what should you learn? So as I mentioned, try to learn the things that is the vision of your team. Don't try to learn what is in the market. Because I'll give you one more example. Earlier, long back, this happened to me in my second MNC that I used to work. over there, you know what happened? I wanted to learn. I was so much eager to learn this. What do you call Oracle BI Publisher? I don't know if I said the correct name, but BI Publisher is one tool with Oracle. You know what I did? I came home, I started learning BI Publisher. Trust me, I never completed learning it as well. And I said myself that I will become BI Publisher master one day. Suddenly, what happened after 1 week of me investing time into it, I got to know that the BI Publisher role is given to a separate team. And I mean, there was another team in which one guy was a BI Publisher expert, and that guy was allowed to manage our teamwork as well. So I wasted my time, which was never the vision of my team, which was never the requirement of my manager. So don't try to learn the things which, okay, on a career perspective, like on a long run, if you plan to switch your job and you want to align your cloud market, then definitely it's good. So if you switch job, then you have to plan early, like in which role you want to switch, like what Pankaj said, the solution architect, that is the one fascinating role where DBAs are jumping right now. So if you plan to move into that direction, then it is good to do your homework. But if you plan to stick to your job for at least 2-3 years next, then maybe you should follow like make your manager goals as your goals. Very simple. I mean, this takes you to a long or a higher corporate ladder.
Arun, speaking of managers' goals,
Yeah.
in the company that I'm working for,
Mhm.
my manager is actually completely, against using Golden Gate purely of the cost.
Mhm.
And she even actually had a representative coming from Sharaplex.
Okay.
So if the company I'm working for is going to go for replication, they
Mhm.
will not choose Golden Gate purely because of the cost.
Yeah, that is there. I mean, many a times, I mean, if you guys know about the Indian education system, I was working in a team where everybody was masters, and we got a manager who was just a graduate. You know, it was so hard to work under him because he has never worked in a technical team, and he don't know how to manage a technical team like DBAs. And I don't know from where he was made the manager. He was our manager for 1 year. And sometimes you get this situation where it's hard to explain the managers. But I think, Manoj, in your case, if they are looking for cost, definitely Shareplex is what helps over there. But I think you can again get into, or you might have already analyzed the things, what is the requirement, where replication is needed, because we have also seen some of the areas where you don't really have to go for these heavy technologies for replication. Sometimes for few tables you can just do materialized views, and if you want to do it for Oracle to Oracle, then you can actually choose streams. Again, you don't get support for 12c. That's a problem over there. And yes, again, logical standby is one more area which can be looked into. That is somewhere over there. Again, it depends on the requirement. Yeah.
Oh, Oracle CDC.
What exactly is that? Maybe
Oracle change data capture.
change date. Right.
We use it quite regularly. Arun.
Sorry guys, I was on mute. Tell me. Yeah.
Okay. I thought actually I lost the connection.
No.
That's okay.
Okay, I was saying, okay, I think you guys did not hear what I was saying. I was mentioning, like earlier, I got a chance to work on Oracle Streams in 11G version, but trust me, it was so difficult to configure it. So if there is anyone on the call who wants to share their Streams experience, let us know how was it. I find it extremely difficult.
That's true, Arun. Actually, we also used to have streams. We were replicating to site in Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
So many troubles.
Yeah.
And so finally, actually, we gave it up.
Okay.
You need you almost need a separate dedicated DBA just to maintain it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Happens. Guys, I'll share one more thing because Manoj has got this idea of costing over here. You know what, Manoj, one solution which I gave to one of my clients was, you guys will be surprised, and this has worked also. The client did not want a near real-time replication. The client was okay with the lag. I asked him, what is your lag time, or how much you want to agree on the lag. He said, even if there is a lag of 1 hour or 2 hours, I'm perfectly okay. So, okay, this is something weird, but we did it. You know what I did? I negotiated with the client on the lag time, and I asked him, what if the lag is 24 hours? I just gave him a random scenario. What if the lag is of 24 hours? What is the impact on the business? He said there's no impact. The database sizes were less, and I think the source was, I feel so it was MySQL. I believe so. I'm not getting it. Maybe MySQL or SQL Server. Okay, guys, can you correct me in which one I can perform a CSV export? Can I perform CSV export in both? Anybody who has tried it? Anyone? Okay, I'll just give you the idea. In the databases, I mean, I did not set up this replication. I just gave them the idea. I don't know which DBA worked on this. The client agreed on 24 hours lag. Then I asked him, like, can we go for one refresh per day? Yeah, I mean, they were okay. Then I just because I was with the architect, I just gave my idea and left the meeting. And later on, I just heard the news that my idea was accepted. The thing was, I told them that from every database vendor we can dump the data into CSV file, because the database size is less and the number of tables are less. Let us dump the data into CSV file, use SQL loader onto the target and load the data into the tables. Once in 24 hours, we'll write automated scripts and things will work. So this was my idea. Other guys gave like Golden Gate and other ideas, but later on I got to know from the architect, like they have chosen my idea. So sometimes happens. Okay, so these are the scripts we have to execute. Now my doubt is on which one do we have to execute. Okay, on the first one. Yeah. Okay, I'll exit from the Oracle user. So this is the challenge over here. You cannot copy from the Xming user one app or inventory. Okay, so first one is done. Second one is DB Home, user one app, Oracle product, DB Home one root.sh. I think our first server is ready. So I'll just click on OK. This is done. Move on to the second one. Okay, second one will take some time. Again, guys, I have never tried the CSV idea. Maybe in the project work, I want to try this idea. I want to see how can we, I think in Microsoft SQL Server, we can export in CSV, and we'll try to use SQL loader. We'll do this try, okay? I'll also let you know what is the output. Can we really do it?
Yeah, Arun, can we put CSV from any database? Can we use SQL loader for any database and dump the data into CSV?
SQL loader is used to load data into Oracle database. It is not for dumping.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you about this source. My source.
It depends on what utility they provide. But as far as I know, on theoretical terms, as far as I know, every database vendor allows you to export the data in CSV. This is on theoretical terms. I don't know technically in every database vendor how to export in CSV. This idea, I know it. I have read it many times. I mean in Oracle I have tried it. You can definitely export in CSV, but I don't know about the other vendors. So this was like a theoretical idea which I gave. Like they needed a solution cost effective, and the client was okay for one refresh in 24 hours because the DB size was small. So I think this idea worked over there. It will not work in every environment, depends. So if somebody comes to me and says, Arun, we want to use Golden Gate, so I'll only recommend them Golden Gate if they have big pockets, because Oracle is literally banking upon the Golden Gate product. It's actually making a part of revenue. I don't know exactly the percentage. A part of the revenue of Oracle is through Golden Gate.
Arun, I have one more question.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, let us assume I don't want replication. I just want to migrate the data.
Okay.
So do you still suggest Golden Gate?
Depends. Like you are saying from one database to another database, right?
Yeah.
So for one-time activity, why will you use Golden Gate? You can use some other. Yes, there are people I've seen with big pockets, as I mentioned. They will, purchase. They'll purchase the Golden Gate for initial load, and then they'll just discard it. Yes, they do it. People, yeah.
Not only, let us assume usually in the real-time environment, my production will be in SQL Server, and I have 10 terabytes. My source is 10 terabytes, and initial load it will not help. It will only help one time. But let us assume I am doing on first of August, and now they will definitely not initial load. It will not do everything, right? So after some time they will do cutoff.
Correct.
So definitely they have to do replicate for some time. They have to observe, then they will do cutoff. So
Correct.
do you still suggest Golden Gate for just one time? After that, I will completely wipe out that source because I don't want DB.
I'm just thinking about the solutions because what you have given is a right situation. If you ask about Oracle to Oracle, generally people go with the storage snapshots. But in your case, what you can do is, personally, if you ask me, there are two ways. I don't know whether they will really work in this case because your scenario is right. 10 TB of initial load will take a lot of time, first of all. So what you can do is you create a clone of that server and then do it from there. That's the first case. Okay, you do an initial load, and later on the gap between your initial load when you started, let's take your initial load completes in maybe 48 hours, just an assumption. So if it is taking that much time, then what you do is the amount of gap that you have, then you use the Golden Gate replication, get the remaining data, and then scrap the source. That is the one way. The second way is I'm thinking about the storage snapshot. Can we really use it somewhere in this case? So guys, have you ever encountered this case where you have used storage snapshots in a situation where database vendors are different? I mean, anyone, just I'm confirming before I give my answer. So good question. I think I'll have to see the alternate for this one. 1 db01 root.sh. Yeah.
So Arun, I worked a little bit on that one, but the way was different. Just to load the data from using SQL Loader from Oracle, and just to import using EDB Loader and Postgres. That's all we did.
I mean, that is what people do. You dump it to CSVs, or you use an export import utility. I mean, that's what I was about to say, the second solution. But in this case, it will be a challenge because the size is big, right? So I think I would personally recommend, if the size is big, go for clone of the source, then use Golden Gate for initial load. Then later on, once the initial load is completed, you try to get the other data via replication. That is what I would suggest. That's the best one actually. If size is not a constraint, then definitely you can use Golden Gate or export import utilities from different vendors. So we have one query: after GG installation, will be testing replication from Oracle to Oracle, as we have source and target have Oracle. Yes, we will not test. We will actually configure the replication from Oracle to Oracle. Guys, one thing about the course flow I'm saying. So in the course flow, you will be performing a lot of replications, because we'll be performing replication and then delete the replication. We'll again perform replication, will delete the replication. So a lot of times you will be configuring Golden Gate and you will be deconfiguring the extract replicate. We'll do it multiple times. This is just to, I have wantedly kept this kind of series of steps so that you get to know the different modes of configuration. Trust me guys, Golden Gate is very highly customizable. Even if I show you all the ways of configuring the extract, replicate and everything, even though if you go on Google, you will still find a new way. It is so highly customizable. And as we cannot see all the customizable solutions, what we will do is we will focus on some goals, like single table replication. This is one goal and how to achieve it. Multiple table replication, how to achieve it. So we have some goals in the course and we'll achieve those goals, because if you know how to achieve a goal, then you can mix and match and create your own ideas. As I mentioned, Golden Gate is highly customizable. So if you get the ideas and tricks, you can definitely work on it. So we'll be configuring single table replication in same schema, single table replication in different schema, multiple table replications in different schemas, and then load balancing of the replication on different replicat, and how to configure multiple data pump processes. And this will be part of like load balancing, and then we'll get into schema replication, we'll get into initial load replication, we'll get into bidirectional, and then high availability. So kind of like we'll be looking at 9 types of replication scenarios. Again, as I said, if you go online, you might again find one more scenario. So there are a lot of scenarios because people choose to configure Golden Gate in the way they know. So with these 9 combinations, once you know, you'll be able to actually figure out your way as per the requirement of the team, right? So guys, like we are done with today's session. A lot of things we have discussed. Tomorrow we'll be creating the database on source and target. We'll proceed with the installation of Golden Gate, and also tomorrow we'll be looking at our first replication scenario, that is single table replication from source to target, right? And as you guys have already confirmed, like you guys are liking the must read emails, as part of the must read email, I'm just giving you an idea. Next I'll be sharing the Golden Gate compatibility matrix, because in your environment, if you plan to implement Golden Gate, you can look into the compatibility matrix and decide whether Golden Gate supports it or not. It is based on the database, it is based on the operating system. So I'll be sharing this link via the Google Drive, so it will be shared with everyone. Okay, so that is one thing. And yes, I have a lot of things. I think after tomorrow's session, I'll be sharing again further things like what is supplemental logging, and again I have a list of things that I plan to share with you guys. Okay guys, I'm done with today's session.
Hey Arun.
Yeah, hi, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Prashant here. Actually, you are referring some Word documents, right? You are going to share that, the installation steps.
100%. This will be hosted. Did you get a chance to look at the Golden Gate course on the website, the session 1 and session 2? I mean, did you check the session 1 and session 2 on the website or not? The last sessions.
Yeah.
Okay, over there we have these slides, right? So the same way I'll be putting these documents over there. So in the same record session, you will have it over there.
Okay, this documents also.
Yeah.
It's already there. I didn't check today.
So, okay, I have to compile the video. Once video is converted, I have to upload it. So when it is available, you will get an email. I'm not sure if you're checking my emails. Last time also I sent one email. Whenever the lesson is live, I send an email.
Yeah, because these Word documents have all the steps, right? So I thought to install, complete the steps before we are going for this.
Let's go all in one pace. So it will be available with the lesson, and these things are for you guys. It is not for me. So it will be available in the lesson. You can directly check it from there. Okay. So anything else, guys, before we wind up today's session? Great, guys. So, okay, we have some query over here. Okay, we have, I'm not able to download PPTs for future reference. Guys, you won't be able to download anything. You can only refer them because you will have access to the course, right? That option I am also trying, but I mean, we don't allow it as per my team, which works. These slides, you can only refer them. If you ask the other candidates, I think Manoj, so earlier even slides were never shared. Slides were only in the videos, but every student complained like we want to see these slides and we want to refer them. So you can refer them in the lesson, but I doubt if you can download it. So video, slide, all the documents, you can only view them. You can email the Word document. I don't think that will be possible. See, all your material would be available in the lesson. So if you have any doubts over there, just let me know. If something
Arun,
I'm missing, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Yogesh. Can we get the manuals for the Golden Gate? Means
To be very frank, I don't create any manual because I don't get time to create the manual because I don't believe in arranging the stuff from Google and give it to anybody. So I don't do that. I believe in writing by myself. So I never get a chance or never have time to write books. So honestly, I don't have any manual, but all the Word documents that I'll be using, these are lab practice. And I think you should focus on lab practice, I believe. If you want theoretical stuff, you come back to videos and you can watch it again.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And also, I don't believe in sharing somebody else's manual. Like many trainers in the market, what they do is they'll download some Golden Gate material, they'll share it. So I don't want to give any information to you, which I don't believe myself. Okay. So no, guys, no, not possible to download the videos. You can only view them. And that is how we have these site limitations, because the admin team that I have, they don't allow us. And the team with which I work, the IT team I have, they don't allow these downloads. I mean, some internal policies. Even you'll be surprised to know even PPTs were never shared. But this is the first batch where you have PPTs that you can view. And even all these script documents will be available there. Don't worry. What I'll do is I'll allow you guys to, on an offline note, I'll share it separately so that you can download these scripts file.
Hi, Arun. This is Suryakant.
Yeah, Suryakant, tell me.
These videos will be available for a long time, right?
As of now, the permission that I have is 6 months, but I'll try for more time. Initially, it was for 3 months, but because I got requests from a lot of guys, so we have increased it to 6 months. I'll try it for 1 year. That is what I can say as of now. So 6 months, it's there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, let's wind up today's session. We'll meet tomorrow, same time. Till then, take care.